I lost 20 kg without losing my sense of self, without selling my soul to the gym, without eating only lettuce or some boring ass vegetables, or just working out every day, without tiring myself out, without losing myself in the process. And in this video I'm going to tell you exactly how I did it. Hi, my name is Blossom and I'm here to make sure that you never settle for a life that's less than you deserve. Today in this video I'm going to talk about how I lost 20 kg. How I lost 20 kg while still trying to balance my life. How I lost 20 kg without making it my entire life. How I lost 20 kg and how it actually heightened and sharpened my self-identity, my self-concept, how I felt about myself. How it actually made me understand that I can actually go through the hard things and that I am capable. How it improved my mental health and my clarity, and how it made me become the person I am today, who is sitting here making videos. And how weight loss is more than weight loss. Weight loss is a lot. Weight loss is, it really changes how you see yourself when you are successful with it, and how to go about weight loss in a healthy way, in a way that doesn't require you doing extreme things, in a way that doesn't require you losing your sense of self, and without doesn't require you attaching your self-love, your self-identity to how much you weigh or to how much the scale tells you you weigh today. A lot of people think weight loss is a glamorous process that just happens one day. One day you suddenly figure it all out and then oh, this is exactly how I want to lose weight. Nah, it is not. For the first few months, or actually the first time I tried weight loss, because when I eventually lost my weight was about 2 years later. But the first time I tried weight loss, that was about in 2021. All I did was to walk and just to run on the field. I would spend time running on the road. In the morning I'll run for like 10 minutes and tell myself I actually did something, and I will still be eating like as if I'm a fast food restaurant. But I realized that I knew deep down that I wasn't going to do anything. Yes, I was uninformed. I didn't really understand that, okay, walking, okay, running without actually changing my diet was not going to do anything, or running for 10 minutes every day was burning little to no calories like I thought it was, because I would jog a short distance and come back and say, oh, I was exercising, oh, I'm on my journey to losing weight. I think deep down I just wanted to feel like I was doing something. I wanted to feel like, okay, I'm actually taking some steps in my life, so nobody can say, oh, I'm being unhealthy or I'm eating anyhow. I just wanted to do something for the sake of doing it. So I would go out, I would run like a few miles, about 10 minutes in the morning, and tell myself I was actually doing something. I was doing nothing. And apart from that, there's the part where being uninformed actually comes in, because I also didn't know exactly what to do, what not to do. I also didn't know exactly what I needed to actually lose weight, exactly what I needed to go on this journey, exactly what the rules, the do's and the don'ts were, and I didn't know how to approach it at the time. But then as time went on, I actually met a friend who introduced me to the gym, and then I started going to the gym. So I started going to the gym, I started lifting weights, but then I still wasn't losing weight. Now I was looking physically slimmer a bit. I'll put pictures up as I talk about this. I was looking a bit physically slimmer, but I still wasn't losing weight. The numbers on the scales were not moving, and it seemed like I was just staying where I was. I was still the girl that I used to be when I started the gym about 3 months ago. And then I realized that you cannot out gym or outwork a bad diet, and that was what led me to my next realization. Now, to cut the long story short, and welcome to chapter 2, I finally discovered intermittent fasting. So I found out what intermittent fasting was, and here how it happened was that one random day I decided enough was enough. I think I was on holiday from school one day, and I just decided that I wanted to lose weight this summer. I wanted to be better. I wanted to step into a new and next version of me. But I thought that, okay, the first stage or the first step towards doing this was for me to actually like lose weight. Now I may have been wrong in hindsight, but I think that really helped me, because it helped to build this mental fortitude and this mental clarity that helped me to be the person I am, that helped me to develop the discipline to go for my goals better. So then I found out about intermittent fasting. I did a deep dive on weight loss when I decided, okay, I'm actually going to lose weight. I did a deep dive. I searched all the internet, everywhere you can think of, I searched it, and then I found intermittent fasting. So when I found intermittent fasting, I checked the various types. So there's a 24 fasting, which is the warrior's diet. So you fast for 20 hours and you eat within a 4-hour eating window. There's the 19-5, which is where you fast for 19 hours and eat within a 5-hour eating window. There's the 18-6, where you fast for 18 hours and eat within a 6 hours eating window. 17-7, there's the 16-8, and there's the 14-10, and so on like that. And because I was ready to lose weight and maybe a little bit insane, I jumped straight into the 24 fasting. That was the 20 hours, 4 hours eating window, and I did that for about 1.5 months before I shifted to the 19-5 for a little bit, and then I also shifted to the 18-6. And more recently, I do the 17-7 method, even though right now I do not fast regularly, or I do not fast currently, because I entered a new phase of life where I actually need all my energy. And I will go back to intermittent fasting. I will go back, but for now it's not something I can handle with the thing I have going on in my life. So that was how I started intermittent fasting. That was how I found out about it, and that was the journey towards my weight loss. Now, intermittent fasting is great and all, but the part that will destroy you when it comes to intermittent fasting is if you don't control how you eat. Now, remember I said earlier that you cannot outwork a bad diet. So that actually also applies in intermittent fasting. The mistake I see a lot of people make is they fast, and when they break, they eat all the calories that should have been meant for the 3 meals. They try to eat it all in one sitting because they hope that it will hold their stomach for the next fasting, and that really isn't the point of intermittent fasting. So what I learned to do was actually to do portion control. Now, it took me a lot of trial and error. At some point I thought maybe calorie counting was the way it would work for me, and I was absolutely wrong. It worked for some people, but it did not work for me. Now, I learned to be an intuitive eater, and I focused more on portion control. So that means I ate with a specific plate that actually helped me to control my portions, not a bigger plate that makes me feel like I'm eating less when I really am not. And I also learned to use the right serving spoons for my food. So I wasn't counting my food. I would eat intuitively, and whenever I'm full, I would stop eating immediately. So, most times a lot of the reasons why people get overweight is because they don't stop eating when they are full. They keep trying to push the limit of their stomach. They want to see exactly how long it will take for their stomach to be like, nah, I don't want no more. But the moment you feel like you are full, you just stop. Take a lot of fluids, just control your portions and eat well within that eating period. So that was what I started to do, and that became the game changer for me. I added that to my intermittent fasting. So I need to let you guys know, before you decide to do intermittent fasting, I try to eat all the food you should have eaten for for the entire fasting period in one sitting. As much as possible, do portion control. If you are obsessive like me, or if you know you get obsessive, it will affect your mental health, do not do calorie counts. But if you can handle it, sure. So let's go to chapter 3. Or is it chapter 4? Chapter 3. Let's go to chapter 3 and let's talk about walking. Because at some point I asked myself, I'm not going to the gym now. I'm not working out in any way. I'm fasting. So I need something that is not as exhausting as going to the gym. What can I do to actually burn some calories? And then I heard about walking. I found out that a lot of people who do intermittent fasting actually also walk alongside their intermittent fasting. So I searched up the internet. Okay, well, how many minutes a day do I need to walk? And then I started with 30 minutes a day. So I would walk 30 minutes in the morning. And then after a while, I moved to 1 hour a day, 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes in the night. Sometimes I walk 1 hour at a go. And then I moved to 2 hours, 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour in the night. And then eventually I stopped at 3 hours, which is 1.5 hours. That's 1 hour, 30 minutes in the morning, 1 hour, 30 minutes in the night. And that really, really helped me. Not only did it help me to lose calories, honestly, at some point, it just was the mental anchor for that journey, because my brain would be clear when I would walk. I'm not gonna lie, there were some days I would be tired and I wouldn't feel like doing it, and I wish, oh, could I just keep it? But then I remembered my goal, and I would literally keep pushing and keep holding on, which is why I said, honestly, losing weight was more of the mental discipline that afforded me. It helped me to be so disciplined that I actually think I can take on any task, anything in this life, and actually execute it because of that. Because that means putting your body under. To lose weight means putting your body under. The way you used to eat, you don't eat like that no more. The way you used to, indulge your desires, you don't do that anymore. It is literally one of the strongest ways to discipline yourself. And at some point, I actually thought, okay, maybe the universe made me be someone who eats so much and whose metabolism isn't great, so that I could actually learn discipline in one of the toughest forms. Sure, I wouldn't mind being blessed with a fast metabolism, but I chose to look at it that way because it completely change the way I am now. It made me to be disciplined. I mean, I literally have a lot going on, but I still find the time to make my videos. I still find time to show up every day. I still find time to post about 3 to 4 content in a day. Honestly, for me, that just screams discipline. And I don't think I would have gotten it if I didn't actually take that period where I lost weight. It really isn't all about the physical appearance for me anymore. It's just really more about who the person it made me become. So now let's go to chapter 4, which is the dark side of weight loss. I really needed to talk about this because we can talk about weight loss all day long and talk about the endless benefits. But what people don't talk about enough is the dark side of weight loss. Now, there's a thin line between losing weight and being disciplined and self destruction. There's a point where you go from, okay, I need to watch what I eat, to I'm obsessed. I need to make sure I do not gain an ounce this week. I need to watch every calorie I take and track every single calorie that goes into me. I cannot even take that single burger. There's a problem there once you start thinking that way. There is a thin line between being careful over what you eat and developing an eating disorder, and we need to make sure that we do not cross that line. That's the dark side of weight loss. So that is why you need to get to a point where you actually love yourself before you go through the weight loss journey. See, something I didn't do was to make sure I loved myself well enough before I went through my weight loss journey, and I almost went the wrong way. I almost started following the thin spo pages and all, thinking I wanted to look like a skeleton, literally. When I literally am an African woman, we do not look like skeletons over here. I almost forgot to be proud of how sexy I look, how gorgeous I look, how gorgeous my body looks. I thought I wanted to look like a thin person that wasn't even possible for with my genetics. I just needed to know that I needed to be healthy. I needed to get to a point where I was watchful of what I ate because I really wasn't eating well. I was creating good habits, working out every day, doing something to make myself healthier every day, because fasting has a lot of benefit. Apart from this, it has a lot of benefit, which you guys, I implore you to go and search up on and read on. Which was the point of, and I almost lost that. So you need to love yourself before you lose weight. Do not think for any reason that life will get better after you lose weight. Sure, it will, but it's not going to take away the problems. Sure, life is going to get better, but it's not going to take away the problems, if you get what I mean. If you do not love yourself, you still won't love yourself after you lose weight. Do not think that if you give yourself conditions to love yourself, it will mean that you're going to love yourself better. Or do not think if you lose weight, that man is going to love you. No, he's not going to love you. If he didn't love you now, he's not going to love you then. Yeah. So that is why there is a thin line between being fit and being obsessed with fitness, and you need to make sure that you never cross it. An additional tips that I have when it comes to weight loss is to make sure that you avoid the toxic thin pages. Follow people who only talk about healthy losing weight, and try on supplements that can actually boost your metabolism, and actually help you. You can try like apple cider vinegar. I tried that with I took a tablespoon of that with warm water every morning, and it really helped me. In fact, now that I'm talking about it, I think I need to order another one. So those were the things that helped me. So now let's go to chapter 5, which is how do you actually apply this into your life? How do you apply it into becoming the highest version of yourself? Because I don't just like to talk. I like to actually give you a step-by-step process into actually applying this into becoming the best version of yourself. So the first thing is to decide on your why. Why do you want to go on this journey? I know it's not because you want six-pack abs. If that is your reason, then delete it, because you do not have a why. Because this journey is tough, and sometimes you need something bigger. Go bigger. Do you want self-confidence? Do you want to prove to yourself that you can commit to being a better you? Do you want to just show up for yourself better, to show that you love yourself by actually going on this journey, by disciplining yourself to take care of yourself, to love yourself this way? Do you want to prove to yourself that you are capable of whatever you set your mind on? If that is your why, then yes, go on this journey, because that is what will keep pushing you on the tough and the hard days. Because we didn't talk about it now, but there were a lot of tough days. There were a lot of hard days where I felt like giving up, and I just wondered, why must I have to go through the hard parts just to look like every other person? But at some point, I just realized, there's a reason the universe created this journey for me. And if you're on this journey, your why should be proving to yourself that you are better, that you are confident, and that you are capable. The second thing is to pick a fasting window that fits your life. Don't pick 24 because I picked 24. If you are not capable, it's going to ruin you. So you can go to 14:10. You can actually pick 14:10 and start there. You can start by 16:8. Start wherever is comfortable for you. Just pick something that fits your life. If you are working a rigorous 9 to 5, the last thing you need is to be fasting 24, because you are going to be exhausted jumping buses every day. You can actually even develop things like ulcer, stuff that isn't good for you. You can be so stressed that it actually ruin your health, ruin your mental health. That's the last thing that you actually want for yourself. So the thing you should do now is to pick a window that actually fits your life. The next thing is to build your walking habits. So just like I said, even if it's just 30 minutes you can do in a day, even if it's just 15 minutes, make sure you build your walking habit. Build a walking habits that actually aligns with your lifestyle and something that you can actually handle for now. So then as time goes on, if you feel like you are more capable, you are capable of more, you're capable of adding more time, then keep adding it as time goes on. But for now, build a walking habit that actually aligns with who you are right now, that aligns with what you're capable of right now. And then the next thing is to make sure that you are eating with intention. Ensure that you eat with intention. The way I spoke about it earlier, make sure you are not eating junk, but also do not over restrict yourself. Make sure you are eating right by doing your portion control, and if calorie count works for you, calorie counting. Just make sure that you are eating intuitively, you don't overeat, and you know that you cannot outwork a bad diet. So make sure you are trying to eat food that are good for you. I know processed foods are more affordable, and honestly, if you are at a point where you cannot afford foods that are actually organic or that are like, not processed, you can actually also manage your processed food in the moment and try to just limit their portion and eat more fruits and veggies as much as you can. But there is no rules to eat. Just make sure that you are eating right, you're eating intuitively, and you're trying to balance your plate. So you can watch more videos on the internet where people actually talk about how to eat. Then the next thing is to track your progress without obsession. Track your progress without obsession. Make sure that you track your progress. Okay, so you can do some weekly scale check. So like you can check your weight every week, and honestly, do not let it get to a point of obsession where you're checking every day. Just wear something light and climb on the scale and check every week just to see your progress. And if there's no progress, that's also fine. You can revisit, find out what you may be doing wrong, what you may be doing right, but make sure you're tracking your progress. You can take pictures of yourself in the mirror every week just to see yourself in the mirror, see whether, when you compare the pictures, see whether you're making progress or you're not, but do not be obsessed. And the next thing is to protect your mind. Beware of all the toxic thinspo pages, the ed pages that post about eating 300 calories a day. That is not doable. Even when you are trying to lose weight, it is not right, it is not normal. So do not follow those pages. Make sure you protect your mind, make sure you protect how you think, so that you do not fall victim to pages like that. Thank you very much for watching. I'm so glad if you watched this far. I hope I've been able to teach you something new. I hope you've been able to learn something new, and I hope that this will motivate you to actually start your weight loss journey. Start today, don't start next week, don't start next year. Today is the day you can actually start your journey. You can actually start your journey into being, the version of you that you want to be. You don't need to wait till next year, you don't need to wait for next year, you don't need to wait for next week. In fact, you can actually go on that journey now and actually start striving to become the best version of yourself. If you want to be the better version of yourself, make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel, share this video with your friends and your families who would love to see something like this, and watch this often whenever you need motivation, whenever you need to remind yourself of why you started the journey you started. Thank you so much for watching.